Now, once seen as an exotic feature in Victorian gardens, giant hogweeds have taken over acres of land across Scotland, limiting biodiversity and the land's use. But sheep could form part of the solution in trying to tackle the spread of the invasive species. Over the past 4 years, they've been grazing on the plant in Banff, where experts have seen a significant reduction in the number of weeds. Hayley Bomma has more.
Giant hogweed is not native to Scotland. It was brought here in the Victorian era, with some wanting to recreate the exotic gardens they'd seen abroad. But it spreads quickly and is not easy to get rid of. So 100 years on, many landowners are still facing an uphill battle to eliminate it.
It has huge risks to human health because it has a phototoxic sap that gives you skin burns. It reduces biodiversity massively. It completely takes over. You're losing native plants, you're using pollinators. You are also looking at really unstable riverbanks when it dies back in the winter.
But sheep could form part of the solution. Over the past 4 years, these animals have been eating the giant hogweed plants alongside the River Devon near Banff.
We're seeing a lot of carpet of really small seedlings coming up, which the sheep will obviously graze a lot quicker than these large plants. So over time, we have reduced the age of the giant hogweed that occurs on site, at least in many areas. In some areas, we don't really have anything popping up anymore.
Although the sap is dangerous to human skin, those behind the project say they haven't seen any adverse impact on the sheep.
Giant hogweed is extremely invasive. Each one of these plants, when it flowers, can produce between 25 and 50,000 seeds, which remain active in the soil for many years, meaning that getting rid of these plants can be a very long-term problem.
So what the sheep are doing is they're going over it, they're grazing it, and they're depleting the energy in the plant, and that plant will then die, more will germinate, and they will graze over that. So we might not be necessarily reducing the time it takes for treatment. It's going to be a really long-term plan for giant hogweed control, unfortunately. But what we are doing is we're giving an alternative method for land managers to tackle these infestations.
Following the trial's success, it's hoped the project can expand across Scotland, limiting the spread of the invasive species. Hayley Bomma, STV News.